Hello, everyone. Proxy Table Gaming, PTG. I am Hyper G. Here's Lucky Sixes.
Yes, I am, baby. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno to you. We roll on into round 4, my round 4 of Art of War. 4 Art of War. That rhymes. Yay.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's Orcs and Goblins time, everybody.
Orcs and
I know
Goblins.
that's the highlight of everyone's week because no one likes King of Aquitaine compared to Orcs and Goblins.
It's true. Even I have my reservations against King of Aquitaine.
Yeah,
so.
totally. Yeah, Orcs and Goblins are just so much more fun, aren't they? So. But what could be more fun is going against Empire of Sonnstahl. And what do Empire usually bring?
Jack of all trades.
Knights.
Yeah.
Knights. They bring knights. Just like Aquitaine, sort of.
A steam tank.
Yes, there is also a steam tank, but we'll get to that. Hold your horses there. It was Frontline Clash and Secure Target. I get the easy screen because you've already shown it in your round 4. So all is good. 2 pennies. And this is Orcs and Goblins. We have Azanax, the Shaman, not the Warlord. And with Shagger. We've recorded this one relatively soon after our last recording session, so there haven't actually been more suggestions for names because we haven't given you the chance to actually submit them. Yeah. So at this time of recording, there is no further names to go with.
Yeah, well, as I said in the last one, I think after this, naming things is kind of a thing for us. So I think the first dibs is going to be on our next tournament that goes out on things when we're preparing. I think we might go to the patrons.
Oh, that's a cheeky little plug, isn't it? Yeah.
I think
if you want to be involved in naming characters.
Yeah, then, for our next armies where there are names available, I think would be
great. Nice. Cool. Well, yeah. This is another objective where my tactic of having 4 scoring quick mounted units might be useful because. They are mobile, and the Boars could hopefully get to secure target late in the game to maybe claim them if they survive. So we'll see how it goes again. But overnight, knowing I was going against Sam Freestone, looking at his list, oh boy, it shoots. I've had 2 rounds going against Warriors, so...
Yeah. So I guess so, yeah. The only other experience I've had with Sam is when he took the 3 Bombardier unit. As well, so
sure.
He likes
he does like his shooting.
Likes a good shooting, yeah.
It's his MO, is it? I mean, I was looking at this, and obviously I went down and saw Knight Commander, Prelate on a horse, Inquisitor on a horse. I'm thinking, okay, great, this is going to be like a Knight unit, clearly. And sure enough, there is a 10 Electoral Cavalry unit with Lance, or Jazz, and Banner of Speed, you know. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, there's a big block of the Knights, that's cool. That's scary, but it's cool. Then he's got a BSB and some on-foot wizards, both wizard adepts, which I like the idea of, with extra channel and no, magical heirloom's not extra channel, is it? It's the extra spell. Yeah. And lightning bound braces. So he's got six spells between those.
Lightning bound braces, of course, because it's so good right now.
Exactly, so and then he's got prelate for the orders. Not the orders. What do I mean? Prelate the
bounce spells.
Yeah, whatever they're called these days. Yeah. So yeah, he's got the usual kind of mix with characters. Nice to see an Inquisitor actually. Don't always.
It's like 9 spells, isn't it? You
get
3 from the prelate, and they're only their unit, to be fair, aren't they? But
yes, that is But it is the Knights who probably want them. You know, the Five-Pages or the what's the other one? That's important.
Flaming.
Well, that one can be important, yeah. But anyway, he's got a small unit of Electoral Cavalry. And then from that point in the list, everything shoots. So you got light infantry crossbows, you got state militia, 2 of them, 2 Reiters, 5 Imperial Rangers, and a normal cannon and a steam tank cannon. And yeah, that's a lot of shooting in my book.
Mate, I love Reiters.
Yeah.
Reiters.
That's very good. With repeater guns as well, so that's like 3 shots each, isn't it? So... It's insane.
Put it in the comments. What is the maximum Reiters? Because I would have that.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, definitely would. Cool. So we'll see how I get on. Overnight, I was thinking, you know, like if I don't get turn 1, how much will I have left by the time I get turn 1? So let's see how that goes. This is part of my deployment. He dropped first and went for first. I didn't have a lot of choice in that matter. I think basically I won the roll off to choose sides. And at that point, I already know I'm not going to be going first because he will drop for first. That's pretty much the way he wants to do. But what it does mean is I went around the table and measured to see if there was space behind the hill for my gargantula.
And there was. I'll have that side.
I'll have that side, thanks. Yes, so that was pretty much the thinking of this deployment, because he has got 2 cannons, and the gargantula wouldn't survive long.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
And so I do deploy this knowing that I have got second turn. I'm not going first. So I've got 1 wrecking team on the left, the Nashers, with Ed Basher Feral unit behind them. Goblin Raiders on the hill, the Scutler Spider, who is a legend. He needs a name, definitely. Nasher wrecking team again. Gargantulas behind the hill.
Like Braveheart,
something like that, yeah. Definitely. Then the Scutler Spider, Goblin Raiders. Then the Ferals on the hill, of course, with Shagger in the middle and Azanax somewhere in there. Over on my other side, he dropped his knights to contest the secure target. I placed that target there, thinking that I need to spread him out as much as possible. And he put his 1 unit of knights there. He's only actually got 3 scoring units, both 2 knight units and the crossbows. So I wanted to spread him out as much as I could with the objective, so that he couldn't focus fire all on one go. And I figure if I put an objective far away, it might be far enough away from the shooting, which this turns out it is. I was tempted to only put 2 of my Orc Boar units there, but I thought, no, I need to make sure that I can take out these knights and then hold the objective. So at the last minute, I kind of went with 3 of my Boar units, and we'll see how that works out. What I've done with my chariots is I've slightly amended their normal formation so that the cannon, not the steam tank, the cannon cannot see them, because they are hiding behind the building. The steam tank obviously can move and potentially get a shot on them if it wants to. Over on Sam's side, we have the Rangers in the forest scouting, 2 units of Reuters, 1 state militia behind them with the BSB standing in there. The big unit of electoral cavalry. Then we have the other state militia with both his wizards at the front. That's a 2-wide wizard frontage. Then the cannon, which as you can see, can't see the chariots behind the house. The crossbows are in front of the cannon, steam tank, and then the 1 unit of knights. And Sam will go first. Thinking about this, it was all kind of about what am I going to have left after his turn 1, really. I wasn't really sure what I could do to stop the ranged shooting in his turn 1, especially having lost turn 1. So I got a few pictures of Sam's army going through. Nice little metallic colour scheme with the purple bits. That's as technical as I get when it comes to talking about painting. I do like these knights, like some of them that don't even bother with helmets. I think that's really cool. Lovely. Okay, so he vanguards as follows, with his Reuters coming forward to join the Rangers forward. That's just a classic way of avoiding their not being able to unwieldy, whatever it's called. Yeah. And that puts him in range of shooting stuff, which is terrifying. But
man.
Not a lot you can do about that, really. My vanguard is as follows, with the Scutler Spider going forwards. And I don't think I actually vanguarded anything else, because there was just no reason to give him short range on his shooting. Basically, I'm not expecting my squishy units to survive long. But I did want to put the opportunity for me to chaff his knights and keep them back, or do something with one of my chaff units. So the Scutler Spider has gone forward bravely. That's his thing, really.
You need like a model where he's like mooning. He's like backwards mooning on a spider. Someone needs to do that, and then we'll just call him Braveheart. Yeah,
I quite like Braveheart, actually. I mean, Orc-Heart doesn't work because he's not an Orc.
Brave Bun.
Gob-Heart, I don't know. Yeah. There you go. Put them in your comments. Right, so this is what Sam does, movement-wise. Moves his knights up pretty aggressively. There's still no charges for me, so there's nothing to lose by, protecting his shooting units by doing that. It's a big clump of units he's got going, really, which is understandable. Steam Tank comes forward and almost hits the Scuttler Spider, which I don't think was his intention, because I think he is planning on using his cannon.
Yeah.
But I think he was close to hitting the Spider. Over here, he moves his knights forward a little bit to be within 6 inches, but we all know that is obviously going to change when I do something about it. I was delighted that the Steam Tank didn't come this way.
Yeah,
it does mean that I can
definitely.
3-on-1 his knights, and I think I've got the firepower to deal with that. He starts with magic, gets a... What spell does he get? I think it involved Blaze, actually.
Yeah.
Did he have Pyromancy?
He had Cosmo and Divination on the thing from recollection.
Yeah. Or did
so it could
is
be
the
Ice and
Empire
Fire?
Hereditary?
Oh.
Is the Empire Hereditary to
he can
choose
get
another spell?
Fireball, yeah.
So I think he did Fireball and Blaze. The Fireball doesn't kill the Scuttler Spider, which is amazing. Just 1 wound on him, which is fantastic. And the Blaze only does the 1 wound.
Great.
So to the wrecking team. So decent start magic-wise. I'm happy with that outcome, because it means he's still got to spend effort shooting them. Other magic-wise, he gets reroll to hit on his writers, which is an ideal. And then there's an order, I think. I'm not massively clued up on
fighting extra rank, minimised things.
Yeah,
one of those.
So I think I let a few of those go through. You have to let something, don't you?
I think the orders you can't do anything about either.
That's it. Steam Tank Cannon shoots off a wrecking team.
Fair.
Which is to be expected.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that. The State Militias do the final wound on the Scuttler Spider, so he will not be having glory this time. Although, a useful effort. He's done that. And then the crossbows follow up with shooting 2 more Scuttler Spiders off. So
and they pass their panic.
Oh, they do pass their panic. I've got the BSB in range.
Nice.
And general. Then the writers go ahead and do kill. I think 1 unit kills the wrecking team. Again, dolt. And then 5 other Nashers die to the other writers unit. And do I have a picture of? No, this is my following turn. Already, I've lost 2 wrecking teams, the Scuttler Spider, half my Nashers, and half my Scuttler Spiders. So, turn 1 wise, I already had like 3 or 4 entries to my points that I've lost, which is scary, really, because I haven't done anything yet. But it very much led me to make this decision, which was, got to get on with it.
Aggro, baby.
Got to go. If you don't go now, you're just going to be shot more.
Yep.
And so I did go for it. My Goblin Raiders move up out of line of sight of his knights and went into Conga Line. They are standard tall. So I was kind of thinking that with his Reuters being standard tall, if I go wide like that, then my Nashers might have a chance of surviving a shot or 2. Obviously, there's a lot that can.
You can still shoot them, though.
Absolutely, yeah.
Shoot him off first,
exactly.
and then
So
it
was as much to stop his Reuters moving forward and getting into a decent
and
position.
having freedom, right?
That's it. Yeah. So realistically, we all know those Goblin Raiders are kind of only doing a little bit of a diversion job, really. But I do go forward as fast as I can. I might have declared the war to get even further. Not sure, but we'll hold that thought. The Gigantula comes out from his hill. Obviously, he's got a little way to go now because he started so far back, but still, he's as aggressive as he can. And what I did with the Scuttler Spiders was I thought this was quite a nifty little move. I read overnight, because I had the time to read, that the Steam Tank can't overrun if it charges into stuff. It literally can't pursue, can't overrun, etc. It literally stops dead after a combat, no matter what your opponent does. And so I figure that by stopping the Steam Tank charging the flank of my orcs, yeah, he can come into the Scuttler, but he won't move after he's gone through the spiders.
Sure.
So
yeah.
my flank of my orcs
because
is
obviously
safe,
with random movers you can't railroad them now, can you?
No, you can't railroad them. But what he can't do is choose a direction that doesn't hit the spiders.
Yes.
and hit my orcs, basically.
Yeah,
Just the back of my orcs.
He can go forward, but it doesn't do anything for him.
He can go forward, but that's fine. You can do that all he likes, yeah. So I was quite pleased with that little scuttler move, and obviously that's the beauty of having 3 of them alive after the crossbow shot them.
Yeah. No, good, nice.
Over here, I somewhat lamented that I had put an Ed Basher unit as my front boy unit, because I was thinking actually it might have been better if I'd got the core unit as the front barrier,
sure,
and then countercharge with my 2 Ed Bashers. But nonetheless, that was how it is. So I've got an Ed Basher boy unit going forward aggressively. The Lance Common Orcs are ready to countercharge, and/or the core Feral Orcs also ready to countercharge.
Nice.
I can't flee with that front unit because they are ferals.
Yeah.
So to some extent, I do have to give up a unit to achieve it.
Of course, yeah.
Potentially, but I'm happy enough that I can countercharge. If he doesn't countercharge, I just keep on hunting him down and then move forward and get the objective anyway. So happy with that situation, as long as the steam tank doesn't now change direction. And the chariots go back into their normal formation. Yes, I've potentially got 2 cannons shooting them now, but I can't stay hidden behind a hill forever, behind a bit house forever. I have to do something with them. And also what I've done is I've put the BSB on the left side of the unit. You can see my piece of paper there says BSB on the left. At the moment, they are within BSB range of the ferals, which I kind of felt I needed.
Sure.
That's an overview of how it looks at the end of my turn.
Lovely, lovely. Someone's lovely red trainers in the top of the screen there.
Don't know whose they are.
Comment if they're your trainers.
If you own the... Well, if you own them and you're not wearing them.
Well, yeah, even better. How did you get them? Did he?
Okay, so what Sam does is he charges, and I knew that I was moving there with the potential that might happen. What I wasn't sure whether Sam had realised is that with my spears on my ferals and my +2 agility, I was attacking at the same time as him. Now, I believe I had tried to get an agility minus off on his unit in order to make sure I was attacking first, but I hadn't disguised it well enough to prevent him knowing that he wanted to dispel it. But nonetheless, Sam decided to go in knowing we were attacking at the same time, and I'm intrigued as to how that goes. Really intrigued.
And he's got the extra rank, fighting extra rank.
Yes, he's got fighting extra rank as well. So all his knights are attacking. So it's going to be painful. But the fact is, my ferals are attacking at the same time.
Your ferals have a good chin.
Through, they do. They can take a knock in. So even if he kills the whole load, I go back with spears, and I'm AP4, and that's nice against knights. Really nice. I just need to make
Strength
sure
5
he
AP4,
magic.
Right? Wow.
Yeah, because they're Ed Bashers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. That's spears on ferals for you. Have you
got rending as well?
No.
Oh, right.
No. Yeah. So, strength 4, basic. Strength 5 because of choppers. Strength AP 3 because of spears.
Spear, and then
4 because he charged me.
Oh, right. Fair play.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Phew, it is right. Steam tank goes forward and doesn't move very far, which is great, and gives me a chance to move further away later. Over here, he decides to charge with his knights because he figures that's the best way to get some points, and I would agree, probably. Best case scenario. I can't flee, as I said. And over here, his whole unit line of shooting just goes backwards, basically, to shoot whatever they can, which is probably what you'd expect. The knights being in combat, though, however that combat ends between the knights and the ferals will dictate whether or not I'm getting to his shooting or not.
Yeah.
So if his knights win, then it's game over. You know, I won't have anything left to get to his line.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm slightly hopeful that my orcs can do this. So
Sure.
We'll see. Let's see. Magic is a bust. I dispel everything useful, and he gets nothing of note on his unit. And then on the knights.
Sure, he just gets a fireball off or something.
Yeah, he gets exactly. He can just about see from his wizard through that gap. Although looking at it, the whole unit template with an extra horse there, it's a very small gap between the raiders and whatnot. But either way, it's
Gap's
fine.
a gap in it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, yeah. He basically doesn't get decent magic off. I let this fireball go through because it's a miscast as well,
Oh,
and he
nice.
kills some Saint Militia. They pass their discipline test, which is like a re-rollable 7, I think,
Sure.
because his general's out front.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think Sam actually may have even needed the re-roll, which is crazy because I really got my hopes up about that. But yeah, they're good. And then into shooting, because I dispelled the Five of Pages on the knights as
Yep.
high priority, basically. The crossbows killed the scuttle spiders, as you would expect. No trouble there. One of the writers kills off all these goblin raiders, as you would expect. My only unit nearby is Feral Orc, who won't panic, so no problems for them.
Sure.
And similarly, the Gargantulas fearless. So I've just lost, I've lost 3 more units in that round of shooting and magic.
Yeah.
But hey, my list of points that I'd given him up at this stage was like 8 units to him, 0 to me, and that's quite intimidating looking at that. I've already lost 8 units and he's lost none.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's just what's going to happen. Over here, amazingly, he only does 1 wound to me, which is, well, brilliant for me, really. What I didn't really anticipate was the fact that I would flee and block off my other unit of ferals.
Sure.
Which isn't ideal, but I'd rather that have a chance to rally while my common orcs charge him.
Yeah.
Than losing the unit, I guess.
Yeah.
So, it's not terrible. Into the combat, and oh boy, my orcs go mental.
Whoa! I mean, everyone goes mental, right?
Everyone goes mental. I'm struggling to contain my excitement because it was pretty epic. Because Shagger goes down to his lord, I think, who was attacking first. Because
so before he strikes.
Can't remember whether it was before he strikes or not, because I had a potion of swiftness.
Oh yeah.
So maybe Shagger did
a
actually
few wounds,
strike.
Yeah,
I think he probably did. But he does kill Shagger. It wasn't a duel, I remember that much, because he had the the item that switches your stats round on something. So I wouldn't have accepted a duel with anyone important. But the fact that my ferals get to attack back at the same time means I do a heck of a load of hits. I target everything on his knights and kill every single one of the knights.
Nice.
And he has got only his 3 characters left. Problem being is that I've now lost a few unit models off my back. I'm not in BSB range anymore because I'm over 12 inches away. I am steadfast. I've lost my discipline 9 general. I'm down to discipline 8. And I'm steadfast, and I pass.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Days! Oh my days!
Oh jeez. I mean, obviously, I knew I was probably going to lose the combat, but yeah, that's amazing. That's crazy that the ferals have done that because they've literally given me this opportunity now. I do reform the ferals as well, so I pass another 8 to reform and go into 5 wide or whatever to maximize my attacks because. I figure he's going to be attacking before me, and he'll kill the
ranks
on the
back, and stuff
so
as well is important.
Exactly, get ranks, to add to it. I tried to look at this to work out if I could charge the Gargantula and the Boar Boys.
Yeah,
I couldn't. I tried to think to myself, should I move the Boar Boys forward now and charge the Gargantula? Problem with that was I wasn't. Horrible rolls can happen. And if my Gargantula fails to get in because it's not auto, I would have wasted a chance to flank charge his unit.
Yeah.
So I figure, no, I'll just flank charge the knights and accept that I'm definitely getting in there. And that's fine. I would have loved to have sent the balls forward to pressure his shooting units. But I think, I went with this as the guaranteed killing his character option. Really.
Could you have charged the militia on the left?
It was a not guaranteed charge, and he could have fled it. And then I would have been... Yeah.
No, you only need to move forward though, don't you?
Oh, not charge
with the boars. No, with the boars. Even if you fail charge, you go like 3 or 4, right?
Oh, sure. You mean the Gargantula charge the rangers?
No. If the boars charge the rangers,
Yeah.
Even if he flees, you go 3 or 4 as a failed charge, which means you move out a lot
Sure.
out of the way of the Gargantula.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I couldn't see that as a way of guaranteeing the Gargantula could get through.
Okay.
And again, I didn't want to fail the charge on the Gargantula.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
yeah, I went with this because this was the most consistent option.
Sure.
Really. Over here, I charged the Common Orcs into his knights, and I'm after what the Common Orcs did last time against the Fallen. I'm kind of thinking now is your chance, Fallen, not Fallen, Common Orcs. I will be attacking before his knights, or no, same time I think. But the issue is he's nowhere near as strong as Fallen, or So I'm hoping my Lance Common unit can make up for their blunder in the last one. So that's cool. These guys get in because it's an auto charge, so love that. And like I say, because I've changed to be rank bonus, I've actually got quite a lot of combat res going into that. Even if I can't actually kill his characters.
Yeah.
I rally my other boar unit, which is cool. So nice. I've still got all 3 functioning boar units on this side, and obviously get in with the lance unit. My Gargantula moves forward. It's not fantastic going into the field of fire.
Are those the ranges where they have multiple wounds against?
No.
Lethal strike. Sorry.
Lethal strike. Yeah. Against beasts.
My
Gargantula is a beast.
So they're wounded on 6s anyway. So
exactly. So he's still got to do well. But yeah, again, I went with the same thing. I could have just moved my Gargantula back and made him chase me.
Yeah.
But I may as well put pressure on. Really.
I agree.
What I didn't want is if I do get the better of his characters and my feral orcs are free of combat. What I didn't want is for his riders, both his state militias and his crossbows, to all fire at my feral orcs.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then my ferals are dead, and that's a lot of points gone.
Yeah.
Where it's more points than my Gargantula.
Because if he ignores your Gargantula and now goes for the ferals, he's dead.
Yeah, exactly, and all the ferals are dead, and then the Gargantula dies later anyway. So.
Well, that's what I mean. So
I think you said the same, but in a different order. Yeah. Over here, I do my newfound classic tactic and move my BSB away from his steam tank. Basically, my thinking is that the steam tank can't go after both of them, and I'm splitting his targets. Really, I was very hopeful that the BSB wouldn't be needed for the feral orc combat this time round. So yeah, I just made it so that if the steam tank goes after the wizard and the unit, he can, or if he goes onto the hill, I'm getting out of there, really.
Sure.
I have nothing that can take on the steam tank at all.
Yeah.
Even if my ferals turn around, I don't really fancy that.
Yeah.
Because I'm only AP3 on the charge. I guess there's an option, but it's different priorities. Magic-wise, I get the Scepter of Glamour off on his knight unit, which means I do attack first, which is great.
Yeah.
So like that, because it would have been at the same time. Which is.
Did you give Evil Eye to yourself? I suppose.
I think I did. Yeah. No, there was no reason to give it to them. There was nothing really in range of Evil Eye that was useful, I don't think, because you can't. There's no point giving it to a random moving steam tank.
It doesn't matter for the pursue anyway, does it? So.
No, exactly. Yeah. I also managed to get Twisted Effigy off on the steam tank, which meant it can't shoot, which is beautiful. Yeah. So that rules out its cannon for a turn.
And bring the pain.
I think Sam got unlucky on dispelling.
Yeah, what a phase.
One of those. I think it was probably Bring the Pain that he failed to dispel. I think I just diced him there. So bad luck from Sam. For Sam.
Yeah.
And massive for me, because rerolls to hit on his unit affects both the boar unit and the ferals. So.
Out of interest, would Twisted Effigy affect the breath weapon?
Yeah. Can't do shooting attacks.
But if it was in combat?
It's a good question. I guess it would count as a combat attack in that case.
Yeah, I don't know.
Special attack. Yeah.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah. Clarify that.
Yeah.
Over here, I wipe the floor.
Oh, nice.
And don't even lose a single orc, which is brilliant.
Great.
So
great.
They kind of make up for their fallen blunder.
And you haven't lost any points even from the chaffing.
No, I haven't lost any points.
That's pretty good.
Exactly. Out of the 15 fours that started there, I've got 14 left. And, potentially I'm now 3-0 unit-wise to get that objective, which is amazing. Yeah. Also, he's lost his knight unit in the middle.
Arguably, with hindsight, you only needed 2 over there.
Arguably, with hindsight, I might have only needed 2. but I was glad I had 3.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
this is interesting. I go mental on his characters. I think he had. I kill one of his characters. Don't ask me which one.
I
And
won't.
the other 2 characters, I do 2 wounds out of 3 to. So I did like 8 wounds,
Nice.
7 wounds overall.
Great.
Yeah, that's right. To his unit. He's only got 2 guys attacking back. Only manages to kill 3 of my orcs, which is probably unfortunate for him. But he hasn't got lances and stuff anymore, so he's not fantastic. And my boars, I pursue with both, obviously, and run him down. But my boars go 12 inches.
Nice.
Which is superb from them because it means that they get right in his grill. I'm 12.1 inches away from his state militia, and it's not something that Sam's planned. It's just unfortunate because
that's hilarious.
We measured that so many times.
To
make sure that the 12 wouldn't hit them.
Oh,
neither of us really
so
expected
good.
12, but
so
exactly. Yeah. So because if I'm in his state militia with his BSB, he's in trouble there. He probably has to consider countercharging with his Reuters, which isn't a great idea. But yeah, it would have been amazing. Cool. So yeah, good job, Ferals. They've done really well there. I mean, I have lost Shagger, obviously, but no, superb. Over here, I'm not sure what does the 2 wounds to the Shaman. It may well have been a miscast on my previous good magic plays.
Sure.
Because obviously he can't shoot me. And I'm not sure what else has been able to target my Shaman. But it is my Shaman who's taken 2 wounds. So
2 out of 4?
2 out of 4 is on a chariot, yeah. And if he wasn't on a chariot, it's only 2 wounds on a Goblin, Wizard, Witch Doctor. But that chariot gives him 2 extra wounds, which I love.
That's massive, yeah.
Yeah. And the steam tank moves up. Doesn't quite manage to get into my chariots. I think it was possible if he did the revved up movement. But I think he chose not to. I know he might have actually chosen to do the revved up
because he hasn't got a shoot.
Because he couldn't shoot. But he didn't quite make it in. So, whew. Over here, he moves his Reuters and his Rangers to bully my Gargantua, as you would expect. And the other 2 units sort of move backwards. And his plan is to shoot those feral balls, really. They're not very well armored. I think they've got a 4-up save armor, and a lot of his shooting is going to plow through that armor.
Yeah, so, sure. It's just a hit.
I'm not massively hopeful that ball unit can survive it, but if they can, great. Everything shooting the Gargantua is wounding on 6s, but it's a lot of shots from those Reuters. It's 27 shots. So and he's hitting on 5s, I think, or is it 4s?
It'll be at least 6s because he's moved.
Oh, sure, he's moved. Yeah, so he might not go through the Gargantua.
6s and 6s is about 2 wounds if you're lucky.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not as scary as it looks, probably. Over here, he does what you'd expect and avoids giving too much options to the ferals or the boar boys. The wizards leave the unit. I haven't got any shooting, really. The crossbows come to face the boar boys on my right flank, and his state militia without the wizards now are just chaff on my ferals and stop them from getting to the wizards. Over here, I think that's just an overview of how it looks over there, actually. He's changed there. And shooting-wise, he only does 1 wound to the Gargantua, and 1 wound... Oh, no, this might be magic, actually. This might be magic.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say it's magic. But that's so far, what he's done so far.
Yeah.
Because he follows up with more and kills the boars.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I wouldn't like to say that it was a bust magic and shooting phase. It was actually...
We'll say it was a fireball.
Yeah, one or the other. So... All good. But yes, my boar boys did not survive that, which is to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
The Gargantua takes 2 further shots to the Reuters and the Rangers. And that's actually what you said would happen. So you said 2 wounds, didn't you?
I said that just from the Reuters, but I think 2 wounds from just the Reuters is a lot, bearing in mind they've moved. But yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But I'll claim it. I'll claim it where I can.
Yeah, you predicted it. Yeah.
Yep.
Over here, into my turn. I think this is my turn 4 now. I think, or
Sure.
wouldn't be 3. Might be my
Charge.
turn. It might be bottom of the 3rd actually. I charge with a Gargantula on the Rangers. I was actually hoping they'd fail a terror test, but apparently they're fearless.
Yeah, it would make sense. They're like monster hunters, aren't they?
Exactly. Yeah, so they don't care.
Yeah.
And the ferals go into the chaffing militia. With the ferals, I'm kind of just happy to charge as much points as I can now.
Yeah.
I'm not really expecting to get to his line, but I'm thinking if I can get to his militia, kill them, maybe get the cannon, and that's job done.
They're like troops is the issue, and like
yeah,
if
exactly.
they pass a march check, you're not getting them.
That's it. I've chased elf gun lines enough times to know that I'm not chasing that down. So any points I can get, I was going to take. I wasn't going to maneuver around it.
Sure.
So. And the Orcs have already got enough points to go home proud. So.
Yeah, just need to survive, don't they?
That's it. Both get in, of course, because they're all auto charges. That's cool. I was actually hoping that maybe the huntsman, the rangers would hold and I'd stay in combat for a turn, but chances are that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Over here, I used the single unit chariot to chaff his
idea.
steam tank, which is amazing. It gives me an extra 9-inch move on both my wizard and my BSB. Chance to get further away from the steam tank.
Got that cannon though. That other cannon.
Yeah, there is the cannon, so my BSB had to stay behind the hill for that reason. And also, I didn't want to. Well, the writers were lingering on that flank. I didn't want to lose my BSB, so I couldn't get too far away from the steam tank.
Sure.
Because it would have been going into the open. I go quite aggressive with 2 of my units of boars. I figure that I can get the crossbows if I pile pressure on, while leaving my 3rd unit of boars behind for the objective. Because he's got nothing that can claim the objective. His only scoring unit left is these crossbows.
Sure.
So if I actually put pressure on and kill the crossbows, he cannot win the objective.
Yeah.
Unless he can draw it if I lose all my scoring. But he can't win the objective if I actually take these crossbows out.
Where is the second penny, sorry?
Behind my orcs, my feral orcs.
Oh, right.
My feral orcs have kind of run past it, really. We might see it in a minute. So it's pretty much where his Reuters are now, if looking at them.
Okay.
If you can see them.
Yep.
Gargantula wins against the Rangers quite comfortably, doesn't take any wounds back, and overruns just to get further on, really. Sure. Like you say, I'm not really expecting to be able to chase down his Reuters or anything, so that was, again, just a case of getting points from the Rangers. And my feral orcs also go through his state militia, which is cool. So another little bit of points. And there is how that looks. Steam tank charges into there in his turn 4, which you would expect.
Yep.
Again, he's getting as many points as he can, knowing that I'm avoiding it. And over here, he scatters, as you would expect. The only thing that my ferals can now see is the cannon, and that's fine. I think he might have measured, I don't remember actually, to see whether the cannon could move and get out of line of sight.
Yeah, worst case scenario, you just go off the board for his last turn.
That's it, yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm delighted that he is having to shoot the Gargantula to get their points as opposed to just wiping my ferals off the board.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any.
The ferals are like 950 points, aren't they?
965 without the character. So, I mean, I've lost Shagger, but they've still got Azarax. So, Azanax. Still getting used to that name. Cool. Over here, he weighs up his options with his crossbows. He knows they're going to get charged. He would ideally like to kill the common orcs, because they're the ones who can really do the damage with their strength 7 lances.
Sure.
However, he thinks of a master plan, which absolutely works, is if he shoots the feral orcs, he can cause a panic test in the common orcs. Whereas the 2-up armor
the other way around,
common orcs don't cause a panic for the Ed Bashers because they're ferals. So his plan was shoot the ferals, cause a panic test in the common orcs. Doesn't quite manage to kill all the ferals, so either way it didn't quite work out. But in theory, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So there's that. All shooting and magic combined does 4 more wounds to the Gargantula, but it's still alive. He's got half points now, but I tell you what, that Gargantula has done its job. I know that I didn't get points back for killing the Rangers, but it has taken a lot of fire from various sources. So I'm I'm happy I've got another turn with it, really. I can't see anything with the Gargantula, obviously, but he's alive still for now. This guy dies, as you would expect.
Yep.
Yeah. And I declare these charges. I mean, obviously, that was all part of the plan. They're both near enough auto charges. I think my Feral's probably is an auto charge, maybe at 3, but yeah, so should be okay. And Gargantula just stands and moves in the corner. Basically makes him have to move as close to the Gargantula, which is as far away from my BSB as possible, is what I'm thinking. I know I will lose the Gargantula, but it's the best I can do with him. I get in with both, which is amazing. So that should be a few more points. I'll be interested to see if the Lance unit can actually go through that unit crossbows in one turn or not.
Yeah.
He'll probably be steadfast if he kills one of my
How many attacks each do you have?
Only one.
Okay.
I think I've got a champion. I think I've got a champion. So 6 attacks on the guys on top. So I wouldn't kill that many, but should be easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, I set up camp to hold the objective, which is my core unit of ferals as far away from his steam tank as possible. The 2 ferals that were alive, the Ed Bashers, I decided to retreat. I don't need to lose them to shoot in.
Yeah,
I could have tried to hunt down his wizards, but similarly, single wizards on their own are light troops, so they could avoid anything I did. And my wizard is also just standing there for support. Witchcraft is really good after magic because the range of Deceptive Glamour and Twisted Effigy are really long, so I can stay within Twisted Effigy range of that steam tank from quite a distance.
Sure,
which is awesome. He does kill one of my boars, but I kill a hell of a load of crossbows. Wow. He is steadfast, and holds, but that's going my way. And wonderfully, that does mean I'm still in combat the next turn. So really happy with that. I get flaming swords off on my ferals as well to help out. Didn't really need it, but it's one of those cases. I didn't really have a lot of magic that could do anything.
Yeah,
because I was kind of hiding with a lot, and the combats I was in were almost guaranteed.
And presumably stops Twisted Effigy.
I believe he does, yes. And in order to do that, he has to let Hand of Heaven go through, which I'm not expecting to do much, but it does pip a wound off, so cheeky.
Yeah, Yeah.
I go through the cannon and go off the board, which is great. So both of my units there are not shootable, which is fantastic. Or magicable, I should say. However, that does mean in his follow-up turn, in his turn 5, he can magic the 2 balls. But I'm okay with that. I mean, they're ferals again, so they can't panic anything. So it just means I don't have 2 scoring units near the objective for his turn 6. The Gargantula goes down eventually to one of his.
It's him throwing your Gargantulas to the side, right? So get off the table.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it took him a while to take him down, but no, happy with that. And his state militias move back to sort of like declare some shooting on the ferals when they come back. My boars go through his crossbows this turn round, which is excellent. So I'm still strength 5.
It's great.
Off the charge.
That's really good.
In fact, I think I was strength 4 actually off the charge because I wasn't steadfast in the last turn, so I technically lost Born to Fight. I think I was only strength 4.
And he's steadfast as well, so.
I think I knocked off steadfast. I think I did just enough to knock off steadfast off the crossbows.
Oh, really? You did loads of wounds then?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, how many were left at that point? Yeah, no, he hasn't got that many.
So he did like 6 wounds?
I think it's 4 wounds. He's only got 3 in the back rank and 6 at the front.
Oh, is he? Oh, he's only got 8.
I think he's only 6 wide. It was only, yeah. Or he failed the steadfast because he's only light infantry. So he wasn't in general. The general's dead, and BSB wasn't in range. So in my turn 5, I moved my feral orcs on. I moved my common boars to there because they didn't go off the board. But either way, they're just like a bastion of my units that are left, and I'm very much just holding the edges really at this point. I've got BSB on one side, wizard and boars holding the objective, and then my ferals and boars on the other side. So in 3 different camps, and he's in the middle with all the mobility in the world. I literally cannot hunt anything down now. It's a case of just what can survive on my part. He moves up oh no, this is my magic phase. I get Twisted Effigy off on his steam tank, so
Great.
that's one cannon I don't have to worry about, which is amazing. And put Evil Eye on his Reiters so that they can't move to within short range, or
whatever.
Maybe they've already moved at this stage. They might have already moved at this stage, actually. But yeah, there's that. He moves his Reuters in his turn to shoot at the common boars behind, which is fair enough. And he moves his State Militia to try and shoot my BSB if he can. And you can see the penny there. No one's playing up. He shoots only one of my common orc off the board. They are 2 up armor, but I do fail a panic test.
No general, I guess, right?
No general, and BSB's nowhere near. So it was only a discipline 8, and I failed it. So that was fair enough. Sam probably deserved a bit of luck with a bit of his shooting.
Sure.
So, well, I say a bit of luck. I mean, a lot of what he was doing was kind of like just what you'd expect. But, you know, I wouldn't begrudge him these points, put it that way.
Yeah, sure.
And then last picture-wise, he had a horrible decision to make. He had a much harder shooting against the boars, which weren't guaranteed to kill them all and wouldn't cause panic tests because they're ferals. Or he could shoot everything he could at the wizard and get the points. Obviously, the latter choice means I win the objective. The former choice might not succeed, and I keep my wizard.
Sure.
So Sam reluctantly, and it was reluctantly, went with the option of killing my wizard. Yeah. He did kill the wizard. I think it was literally in like the last round of shooting, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he gets the points for the wizard, but I win the objective, which is amazing.
Great.
And it's an objective win for the Orcs and Goblins.
Happy days.
So I weathered the storm. I was delighted with this outcome. I had to fight really hard to keep any units on the board in the face of that Empire gun line. And after turn 1, like losing 4 units in his turn 1, losing another 4 in his turn 2, the units that survived really pulled their weight in this game all across the board. Even like the BSB chariot moving away to cause more targets. I was thrilled with how this ended up.
Yeah, man.
I think Sam was a little bit gutted that he hadn't managed to shoot more off at the end in the last few turns.
Sure.
I was bouncing after this result because I was expecting
objective project.
That's it. Winning the objective, it's massive. It would have been a 10-10 if I had won
very
the
similar to in terms of points wise. He won points, but you won the objective. So objective win. It's massive.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, and I mean I've only got 1 unit of balls left over there, so arguably maybe I did need 3 unit of balls over there.
Yes, yeah.
So
there you go.
Coming right back because they would have been on the left flank if they weren't on the right flank. So
absolutely.
Although arguably if they were on the left flank, maybe they would have claimed the other secure target. So who knows? But yes, I definitely needed all 3. And thank goodness that feral orcs are fearless, right? Because I mean that came into play so many times in that I didn't have to take panic tests and stuff. And without a general and being spread out is really risky. So not having to take panic tests on feral orcs is amazing.
Yeah.
And definitely use that to my advantage in this one.
No,
so thanks, Sam, for the game.
Yeah.
It was horrifying going into it, but I was delighted with how it ended up. Sam was a great sport. I think we both enjoyed it. I think there were a fair few stages of the battle where Sam was gutted with the outcome, whereas I was I wouldn't say I was lucky, but I think he was a bit unlucky at times. So there were a few times that I think could have worked out better for Sam. So
sure.
Better play for holding it together. But really good game and delighted with that result. So I go into round 5 on 46 points.
Mate.
Which is not bad after losing
up.
your first 2 games.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So really happy. Let us know your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and leaves you 4 points off me as well.
Yes, I am only 4 points behind. Yeah.
We've both got 2 wins, so we just did it the other way round.
That's true. Yeah, we did. Yeah, one of us has won in each round so far.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, really interesting to set us up for the final thing. I don't think really either of us are really thinking about the other.
I barely spoke to you at this point.
I know. We were.
I didn't even sit next to you at the curry on the Saturday night.
No.
So yeah.
I was buying Josh drinks.
That's true.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So it sets us up for our last stand, so to speak. Me against Shane Baxter, which I've already said, the vampires, and yourself against.
Who did I draw up against? I drew up against Mo, who is playing Saurians. Actually. So, and he's not only playing Saurians, he's playing Temple Guard Saurians.
Oh, you couldn't write it. You couldn't write
it, could you? Absolutely, you could not write that.
So some really interesting battles to finish the game.
And what we're going to do with round 5 is something a little bit different, isn't it?
It is. If
this works, it'll be amazing. It could be a horrible failure.
We have no idea. We're going to...
No.
Do something different.
Do something different. Leave it at that. Leave the audience wanting more.
Right. Tune in next Tuesday, folks.
Next Tuesday. That probably gives it away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Give some comments. Let us know some more names for some goblins. Scut the Spider definitely needs one, even though this wasn't his crowning battle. And keep the comments coming. As
we said, like, share, subscribe. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Gobbo's on Instagram. We do have a Patreon as well if you want to get involved that way. But otherwise, keep up all the support. We really appreciate it. All the links and stuff are in the description. Everything you need to know. And we will see you next time.
Yeah, we will.
See you later.